Everyone, and welcome once again to the Pet Show. Does your Chihuahua have you confused? Are your calicos behaving a bit crotchety? Is your terrier being a little testy? Well, if you love animals, care about wildlife and the environment, and really want to understand your dog or cat's behavior as well as they understand yours, or maybe you just want to improve your dog or cat's lifestyle, you know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle show, pet everything show. Great time to give me a call if you have a question or a comment. Right now, hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, because it is that time once again, my friends, to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Everyone Pet Show family, it's kind of interesting. If you want to just talk about your dog or cat or brag, or you have a specific question or comment, they're jumping, they're humping, they're digging, they're scratching, they're not getting along with each other, they hit your new boyfriend, they schlepped you down the block, they peed on your... You know what I'm talking about. If you have a question or a comment, I just want to share a great story about your dog or cat, great time to give me a call. And let me just remind everyone that everyone that calls into the show and actually gets to talk to me live on the air today will in fact be getting a pretty interesting gift for their dog or cat. Lots of great items to give away, some worth as much as $50, 40, 30, 20. Lots of great stuff to give away. Some new stuff to give away on the show as well today. And one of the things I'll be giving away, if your dog has bad breath, boy, we can resolve that problem. Or maybe your dog is a little stressed out, we can resolve that as well. I got hugs and kisses to give away, Lucy pet food, doggy lickies, hip to be square treats, lots of great stuff to give away. Copies of my best-selling books, t-shirts. Anyway, everyone that calls into the show and gets to talk to me live on the air will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Or even if you want to ask me a question on YouTube, which we're broadcasting live on. If you want to see the face behind the mic, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Now, I'm going to say this many times today. Before I tell you what's coming up on today's show, let me just say this. Today starts my 45th, you hear me? 45th consecutive year on the radio. This makes the Pet Show one of the longest, if not the longest running specialty show in the country and Canada. 45 years starts today, and who do I thank for that? I thank you. You keep listening. I'm still talking. We're still here. And how many thousands and thousands of dogs and cats' lives have we saved together because of this show? So let me take a little credit for being here for 45 years, but let me give you guys credit for following me along all this time, whether it be on radio, whether it be on TV, and helping as many animals as we can. So yes, today starts 45 consecutive years, not a year off, not even 2 weeks in a row off, 45 years of talking to you guys. And you know what? I have such a great time doing it. I love doing it. I love the fact that we can help you resolve issues with your pets. I love the fact that you people are so into your pets that hopefully we'll be celebrating another 45 years down the road. But today is 45 years on the air. I'll probably do some celebratory stuff this week as well. If you'd like to call me, if you have a question or a comment about your dog, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more into numbers, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I'll give that number out a lot. A lot of people driving around and want to call me on their cell phones. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. So I'm broadcasting today from beautiful Arizona, where it finally cooled down. I moved to Arizona, and this is the hottest summer they ever had. But now it's cooler. Molly and Willie are enjoying going outside. So I even put on a long sleeve shirt the first time in probably 7 months. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me tell you what is coming up on today's show. Here we go. Every single one of you, every pet guardian is familiar with the sense of being watched by your dog. You know what I'm talking about. So why do our dogs find us so fascinating? Why are our dogs constantly staring at us? Do you know why? Well, I got the answer coming up, and you know it's right. How many times you've been sitting down watching your favorite TV show or sitting on the couch reading, whatever you're doing, and your dog is just staring at you? Do you ever wonder why they're staring? What are they looking at? They know what you look like. They know what you smell like, but why are they staring at you? I'll tell you a little bit later on today's show. Also coming up on today's show, I didn't get to this last week, and it really bugged me, and here's why. Cats. I love cats. I've had as many as 32 cats at one time. Cats have personalities just like us. Don't listen to those people out there that say cats are not as smart as dogs. Cats don't have personalities. They are full of, well, whatever. Anyway, cats have personalities just like we do. They can experience pleasure, fear, frustration, anxiety, and other emotions. So coming up, how these emotions can actually affect your cat's behavior. We'll talk about that as well. Also coming up on today's show, just the other day, I was watching someone play tug of war with their dog. No, I'm not against tug of war. I think it's a great idea if you do it right. If you do it right. But every single time I watch people do tug of war with their dog, the human wins. They take the toy and they go away, or they take the toy and they put it away. You got to let your dogs win once in a while, folks. Come on, you can't lose every time and be happy. So today we're going to talk about why it's important to let your dogs win once in a while when you're playing with them, whatever that game may be. And if we have time today, one of the most common questions I get on the show is about jumping. So I wanted to get into detail last week. Again, we ran out of time, but hopefully today we will have some more time to do that. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA. Even if you just want to call me and tell me how your dogs and cats reacted on Halloween, what kind of costumes they may have worn on Halloween, give me a call, 866-870-5752. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. So, if your pet is jumping, chewing, barking, that rescued cat is keeping you up at night, that dog you took from the shelter isn't totally housebroken, your dog decides it doesn't get along with other dogs or people, is humping everything in sight, you get the idea. Give me a call, again, 866-870-KRLA. And coming up on today's show, you all tell me how much you love your dogs. You all tell me how much you love your cats. What do you actually do to solidify that bond? What do you do to really bond with your dogs and cats? Give me a call. If you get through, I will send you a super gift. That is the question of the day. How do you bond with your pets? I'd really like to know. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We're going to get to you in a second, Jim. I've got open lines. Great time to call me when we first go on the air. That's probably the only time you're going to get through. Then later on today, I was out yesterday with Molly and Willie, taking them for their afternoon walk, and there was a gentleman walking, maybe 20 yards away from me, for this beautiful, beautiful border collie, incredibly bright dog, incredibly beautiful dog, but obviously the dog was very excited about seeing my two dogs. And he was barking, and he was standing on his hind legs, and he was barking and growling and barking and growling and barking and growling. And later on, I'll tell you exactly what this guy did and why so many people make this same mistake. No doubt, this dog was being professionally trained by I don't know who, but whoever was training this dog should probably be selling hamburgers somewhere, because the advice he gave him was totally wrong from what I saw. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but it always amazes me that even when you hire someone to train your dog, to educate your dog, to socialize your dog, to play with your dog, you better check them out carefully. I mean, really check them out carefully. In my years of experience, having trained thousands of dogs, I got to be honest with you. There are so many times, I hate to use the term, but I'm going to use it, I've had to retrain or untrain what other people have done, whether individuals or in some cases, so-called professional trainers. And I'll talk about this later and tell you exactly. And Denise was with me. My wife was with me, and she said, I can't believe what I'm seeing, Warren. I can't believe what I'm seeing. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on today's show. But right now, if you have a question or a comment, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. Curious to find out about your dogs and what they might have been dressed up, or your cats, what they might have been dressed up, or how they react to people coming to the door. I get this all the time. My dog loves everyone, but when Frankenstein showed up at the door, the dog just freaked out. So I'd love to hear from you guys about Halloween and how it went for your pets as well, and also how you bond with them. how you bond with your pets. That's important as well. But in the meantime, this is what I'm here for. If you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, if you want to find out why they're doing certain things, why they're not getting along, why they're peeing in the house, why they're jumping on top of people, why they're attacking other dogs, if you have questions about your dog or cat's behavior, this is the show you must listen to. And this is why we've been on for over starting today, 45 years. And today's the second, right? 45 years in one day. We've been on the air talking to you guys. And we're doing the show. I've been doing the show right alongside, the Today Show for many years as well. And so many thousands of dogs that you guys have helped me find homes for over the years. And, I admire you. I get to thank you. I get the accolades. Oh, we love you, Warren. Thank you. But you know what? Without you, my listeners, this would not be a show. We wouldn't be talking for 45 years. Literally, you guys have saved dogs with 3 legs, blind dogs, deaf dogs, 14-year-old cats, 20-year-old cats, dogs that never would have found a home, beautiful dogs that may not have those exquisite looks that you're looking for. But every single time I have tried to find a home for a dog or cat that no one else wanted, that no one else could find a home for, you guys have come through. And so let me take 45 years to thank you for being with me for 45 years and helping me find so many homes for so many dogs and cats that otherwise wouldn't have stood a chance, and making sure that the people involved with animals stay on top of what they're doing and know what they're doing as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me start out with a phone call. Let's go to Tahunga, and let's go to my friend Jim. Hey, Jim, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren, and congrats on 45.
Yeah, I must have started the day after my bar mitzvah. That's what it was. I started when I was young.
Exactly.
Anyway, what can I do to help you out today, Jim?
Yeah, so about 5 or 6 weeks ago, we adopted a 2-year-old dog from Pets for Life, a local in the North Valley here, and we named her Sky. We think she was a COVID-era dog because because of her age, and they found her on the street. She was in the shelter for a couple of months. Then she went to the rescue for about 4 weeks, and then we found her, and we were lucky to find her. She's a great pup.
I'm waiting for the butt. I'm waiting for the butt. She's a great butt.
But so we have 2 cats at home. At the shelter or at the rescue, they did the cat test on her. She was just kind of blasé about them. We did all the things, the scent swaps, the kind of bifurcated the house. We have the baby gates. We've done little meets and greets, and it's been generally going okay. But and maybe it's only because it's 5 weeks, but she's getting kind of very she's getting very focused on the animals. We've done some basic training with her. She's very smart, but she's kind of really, sometimes her tail is even wagging when she's trying to look at the cats and stuff.
Which side do you believe? Do you believe the tail side or do you believe the mouth side? That's the question. Anyway, let me do this. I don't want to rush you through this, Jim. Let me take a break. I'll come back. I'll resolve your dog's issues with your cats. Bless you for adopting this dog, by the way. A couple errors I already heard that you're making. So let me take a break because if I don't take a break, Alex is going to get mad at me. So let me put you on hold, take a break, and we'll come right back to you and resolve your issue. In the meantime, if you have a question or a comment like Jim, great time to give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, the way to get through. Quick break and then right back to your calls. 866-870-KRLA, if you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior. We're going to get right back to you, Jim. But also, I had a kind of a disagreement with someone this week. They said that dogs don't smile, and I tried to explain to them there are several reasons why dogs smile. One of the reasons they smile is when they're feeling guilty. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's get back to my friend Jim in Tahunga. Hey, Jim, you still with me? Okay. Yep. So, Jim, you adopted this dog. Bless you for doing it. You have 2 cats at home. Has there been any signs of real aggressive behavior on the dog's part?
Not really. I think she's more curious than anything, but she's not like, a lot of times she'll just kind of look and just leave them alone. She's easily distracted by treats and stuff like that.
Okay, one of the things I would recommend that you do is, I don't know, did she come off the streets, do you know, or was she brought in to the shelter?
No, they got her off the street, and they said she was very fearful, and I know that she has some reactive behaviors, but overall, like, she's kind of coming along.
Okay, it sounds to me like you're right on track here. And I heard you say training, and the training is important, but the training's not necessarily the resolution for the behavioral response between the dog and the cats. What we want to use here is what we call, it's kind of a term that's kind of misunderstood, distraction therapy. What we really want to do is make sure that every time the cats are around the dog and the dog's around the cats, that something amazing's happening. He hit the lottery, but not always with treats, because food is sometimes, especially a dog that was out on the streets, food could be a survival instinct. So that's not necessarily to distract the cats a little bit with the cardboard boxes and just make the home so interesting that not everyone's focused on each other, and you should find one day them sleeping whisker to whisker.
Yeah, we hope. That's what our goal is. One quick follow-up question is,
go ahead.
Finding a good behaviorist to help us, besides yourself, but what would be some signs of a good behaviorist, or how would I find one?
God, you put me on the spot. There are so many great trainers and behaviorists in Southern California. I would speak with your veterinarian. Here's the thing I recommend to everybody. No one knows their dogs better than the people that their dogs live with. I would interview trainers, I would interview behaviorists, and if anything doesn't sound right, chances are it's not. Just assume that the behaviorist is your dog's pediatrician. What questions would you ask? That's the way I would approach it. So I would ask at the dog park, perhaps. I would ask your veterinarian. There's the organization of dog trainers, which is great, but there is some good, there is some bad, some mediocre. I would ask friends and ask people that have actually had their dogs trained or worked with a behaviorist. That's the way I would approach it at this point. In the meantime, you may not need one, because I'm going to put you on hold right now, Jim, rather. I'm putting you on hold. I'm sending you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want, on its way to you. Follow the example in that first Pet Psychology. That would be beneficial. That's a tough question. I get it all the time, both here and my international show. How do I find the right behaviors? And it's tough. There are some great ones out there, especially in cities like Los Angeles, but you really got to do your research. You really have to put on your thinking cap and do your research. So getting back to the question that I was talking about before I went back to Jim, was why do dogs smile when they're in trouble? Because smiling, from a dog's perspective, is a submissive posture very often. So a dog will smile if they're not feeling comfortable, if they chewed your shoes, maybe if they peed on the floor, if they think something is wrong. It's what we call a submissive grin. And that's why it's so important that you work with someone that understands all these things that happen with our dogs. So it's very important to understand that, yes, dogs do smile when they feel they're in trouble, but they also smile when they're happy. And sometimes they'll show their teeth. And people assume the dog's growling. They assume they're dealing with Cujo. No, 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 no. If the dog's showing his teeth, he might just be smiling. Have to interpret the rest of the body language to make sure you know exactly what's going on. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. All right, let me take a couple. I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to you in a second, Ann. But before I do that, so yesterday, Denise and I are walking Molly and Willie, and this guy's walking down the trail. It's an interesting trail full of coyote poop, but guy's walking down the trail with this beautiful border collie. And the dog sees Molly and Willie, and he's raised up on his hind legs, and the guy's yelling. That's how I knew he was being worked with. The trainer's yelling, leave it, leave it. Training 101, leave it, leave it, leave it. And the guy's yelling at the dog, and he's screaming at the dog, and he's standing still and putting the dog up and almost choking the dog with the leash. That's what the trainer told him to do, and some trainers do. And he finally walked away before I had the opportunity to say anything, and the dog was okay. So what was the problem with this? Number one, right off the bat, the minute you start yelling at your dog, you're reinforcing the dog's anxiety and assertive and aggressive behavior. From the dog's perspective, you're joining in that. That's number one. Number two, holding up the dog and making the dog uncomfortable, as a lot of people would do, is just going to create more animosity or aggressive behavior towards other dogs. Now, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, and I get it from people, you're crazy. Listen to me. when you take your dog for a walk and he's reacting with another dog or dogs, the way to resolve it, number one, is to keep going. The minute you stop, you're reinforcing the behavior that the dog is doing that you want to stop. So holding the dog up, and I'm sure the guy watched some jerk on TV doing it, or I'm sure the dog said, leave it, leave it, leave it. Continue walking. Don't stop, because if you pass the dog and everything's okay, you're just gaining a little bit of confidence on that dog's part. Beautiful Border Collie. I hope the guy either changes trainers or starts listening to the show or finds someone that's going to help him out, because the worst thing that you can do when a dog is showing aggressive behavior is become aggressive with that dog. That's not going to resolve anything. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me do this, and I'm going to keep you up there, but I'm going to take a break in a minute or two, and then we'll get to your call as well. But again, the question of the day is kind of interesting, and I was kind of wondering how you bond with your pet. Do you talk to them? Do you kiss them? Do you hug them? What do you do to really bond with your pets? Give me a call and let me know, 866-870-KRLA, or perhaps you want to respond to what you just heard me say. Do you agree or disagree with my approach? Do you think that so many times people can be overly assertive? Or do you have a better suggestion in terms of helping someone? I say the dog park, I say the veterinarians are a good way to approach it. Now, for years, I ran the largest training school pretty much on the East Coast. And I worked with veterinarians, and every behaviorist and every trainer should have a good working relationship with many different veterinarians. Because very often, behavior and physiological aspects go together to resolve problems. So it's important that you ask your vet, ask people at the dog park, but just make sure before you hire anyone, before you give the end of the leash to anybody out there, you make sure that that person is working with your dog in an upbeat, positive way. Negative, does it work? I'd be the last one to say, but who wants a submissive dog? Who wants a dog that's afraid all the time? Not me. I want my dog to look up once in a while and say, hey, you talking to me, Pop? 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff still coming up on today's show. Lots of interesting topics I'm going to be talking about on today's show as well. And one of the most important ones is the concept of why your dog may be staring at you. Does anyone have a staring dog? Give me a call. And cats' personalities. I had someone tell me this week that cats really don't have personalities. They're not like dogs. They're just cats. They do what they want to do. They don't listen to people. Agree or disagree? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. And do you guys let your dogs win once in a while? Let them take that ball and run away with it? Play tug of war and let him play with the toy? Give me a call and let me know, 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls on Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein, that phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Lots of great stuff to give away on today's show. I got some calming tabs for your dog and calming for your cat. And I got some great new puppy fresh breath to give away as well. Lots of great stuff to give away on the show. Hugs and kisses also. Plenty of time for your calls. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm going to get right back to that. I'm going to get to you and Lisa just a second. Before I do that, though, I'm originally from New York. I know you would never tell because I have no accent left whatsoever. However, a new bill is making its way through the New York City Hall that would allow people to use paid sick time for their pets. What do you think? Is it a good idea or bad? I love the idea. I think it's a great idea because to a lot of people that may not have children, their dogs, their cats are their kids. And if they're sick, I think they should get paid leave time the same as with a human. What do you think? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. One more announcement, then I'm going to get to the phones, I promise. LA Animal Services will offer waived or reduced adoption fees for the weekends in November to help find homes like all the shelters around the country. Everyone is over. I want you to go to LAAnimalservices.com, LAAnimalservices.com. Find your best friend. Bring him home. I'm sure it'll be the best decision you ever made. But again, really, they're offering reduced adoption fees for the weekend, all the weekends in November. So check that out. Let me get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to my friend Ann in LA. Hi, Ann. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. I am dog sitting for a 14-year-old dog, a very sweet dog. She looks like a pit bull mix. She's short-haired, so she's not on the light side. She's kind of heavy-set.
Yeah.
The poor thing suffers from arthritis, and when I take her for a walk, she always poops outside, no problem there. But she's incontinent, and the owner gave me diapers, human diapers, and she showed me how to put it on her. And she has it down pat, but I have tried, and I can't do it. When I was in Petco the other day, I looked on the shelf. Now, they had all sorts of packages of diapers for different sized dogs. And I asked her when I talked to her, don't they have diapers in these stores for the pet supply stores? And she said, yes, but it's split off. But for me, it would probably be easier to have that type of diaper. I have to cut a hole to pull her tail through and then cut.
Yeah, there are so many. No, but listen. First of all,
master it. She could.
Okay, listen. First of all,
that is my problem. I see the dog standing there, and she slowly is dripping, so she has a urinary problem.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
I just figure I'll just have to have the carpet cleaned after I'm finished taking care of her.
Ann, I want you to listen, and stop and listen to me carefully, okay? Number one, there are lots of doggy diapers out there. Number two, God bless you for what you're doing, and even the guardians that have the dog for letting the dog continue to go on even though he has this situation. I have never had to use diapers with any of my dogs. So putting a diaper on a dog, I've watched it being done. I've done it for other people. But the doggy diapers are the way to go. They have the little things. They go around the front of the dog. They're just the way to go. So you may have to just change. You should be able to find them at Petco, at PetSmart, at Chewy, at Amazon. I'm sure if you went to Amazon.com and typed in doggy diapers, it'd be pages and pages of them. That's what you need to do. If you're having difficulty, and I'm sure the guardians would understand, listen, I have a 14-year-old dog that's incontinent. We have a pet sitter taking care of the dog. I can't imagine a pet sitter is going to do everything we did with the dog. So what would make it easier for the pet sitter and it's comfortable for the dog at the same time? So I would definitely go.
The only problem is, Warren, I myself cannot afford to go and spend any money on the dog. The dog is very spoiled. She's getting
stop. That's not a behavioral issue. If it's a matter of dollars and cents, you need to speak to the guardians.
Yeah, she's out of the country. She won't be back probably for another week.
You have no way.
I will tell her when she comes back that she needs to go to the pet supply store.
Let me stop you. Let me put myself in your position. If I were pet sitting for someone's dog and I was unable to care for the dog the same way they did, but there was an alternative such as doggy diapers, I would go out and buy the doggy diapers and bill them when they got back.
I'll see if I can do that because I can't deal with the human diapers. It's too complicated.
Yeah, listen. That's not a behavioral issue. My heart goes out to you, and you have a heart of gold, and I love you for that. But the bottom line is, you're watching their dog. She or he is out of the country. It's your obligation to make sure the dog is comfortable. And in order to make sure the dog is comfortable at this point, go out, invest a couple of dollars, and not that much money, in the doggy diapers, and when they get back, put that on your tab and bill them for it.
I guess I could do that. And
that's what you have to do.
The thing is in pain when she walks. Do you have any idea of what to do?
Again, they didn't give you anything, any pain medication, no Cosequin, nothing for arthritis at all?
No,
Okay. I'm going to do this. I am, because I don't know if I have any of that left. I don't think I do. You know what? There's so many great arthritis products. Did they take the dog to the vet?
I'm sure she did. I will mention a couple things to her when she gets back.
Yeah, there's a product on the market. There's ArthriSoothe Gold. There's other great product, Cosequin. This is a vet. Who's her vet? Call her vet, get the medication, and bill it to her. You're making me crazy. I love you, Ann, but you're making me crazy. I'm concerned not about her. I'm concerned about the dog. Your pocketbook will be reimbursed by this person when she comes back, hopefully with a big smile and a thank you for taking care of her dog the way you did. In the meantime, I'm going to put you on hold, and for the dog, I'm going to send you some hip to be square dog treats. But when you leave your dog in someone else's care, you need to leave them with all the instructions they need to have. That means the name of the vet, the medication they're on. If they're not on medications and they can't walk, why? The vet's number, contact him. bless you for what you're doing, Ann, but the bottom line is, if you're watching a dog for someone, you need to make a list and present that list to them before they leave so that you make sure that everything is taken care of. Great call, by the way. Anyone else run into a snag like that with a situation where they were pet sitting for a dog? My heart breaks for Ann because you can tell in her heart how much she absolutely loves this dog and loves what she does. But in terms of dollars and cents, if you're taking care of someone's dog and you can't take care of it the right way because they left you equipment that you don't know how to use, like regular human diapers, and you have to go out and get some doggy diapers, get them and then bill them back for it. That's what I would do. Anyone agree? Any other ideas? I'd love to hear from you guys. That's why I'm doing this for 45 years. You guys have as many good ideas as I do. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me do this. What do I want to do? Let me take a break. When we come back, Lisa will get to you. Deb will get to you. 866-870-KRLA. Do got a couple of open lines. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get right back to your phone calls. Hey, speaking of return, we are back on the Pet Show. Great time to give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. God, got some great calls coming. We got Mimi calling from Austin, Texas. We got Deb in Van Nuys. We got Lisa in La Cañada. Took me a long time to learn La Cañada. Hey, by the way, coming up, why does your dog stare at you? You ever wonder why your dog stares at you? Is he hungry? Does he want to go out? Why does your dog stare at you? We're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. But right now, we're going to go to Lisa in La Cañada. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. It's nice to talk to you. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. One, our dog was a sheep for about 10 minutes on Halloween.
A sheep?
A sheep, yeah.
Oh, a sheep. Okay.
Sheep.
What kind of dog? What kind of dog is it?
It's half boxer. It's a blended half boxer, half pit bull.
I was just going to say, if it was a sheepdog, that would be kind of confusing to the dog, chasing himself around or hurting himself all over the place.
He tolerated it for a picture, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Just like me. You know, I was, for Halloween, by the way, I went to a Halloween party with my friend Lalani and Steve, and while I was there, I have the world's largest Scooby-Doo head. This big head. I posted a video of me and introducing my big head to my Molly and Willie. So I was Scooby-Doo, so I'm not going to say anything about your dog being a sheep. Anyway, what can I do for you?
The other thing I was going to tell you is, one, our dog always wins because we have a pretty big backyard. There must be, we probably have 10 Frisbees and 20 balls out there because we throw it, he runs after it, and then he sits next to it and looks at you like, are you going to come get it? So
he has you well trained, I'm sure.
He does. And do I bond with him? Yes. Every morning when I get up after I get coffee, I sit on the bed next to him and I read my emails to him.
You read your emails to your dog?
Yes.
You are calling the wrong therapist. Let me.
I know. He is my therapist.
There you go. I think it's a great idea. I think it's great. I think people should read their emails to the dog and get the dog's reaction and discard them if the dog doesn't like them. Anyway, what can I do for you, Lisa?
So you helped us a while ago. Moose came to us. He was afraid of plastic bottles. You helped me with that. So the latest is our dog, Lily, was a golden retriever. She passed away at the age of 14 and a half, but it was the only dog he had bonded with in terms of us having another dog. And he's been fine. He dealt with it, and he came out of his grief, so to speak. But the weird thing that's happened is I put his food down in the morning, and if he hears like our daughter upstairs getting ready to leave or somebody rings the doorbell, he stops eating and he will not go back to it.
So give me more background on the dog. Where did the dog come from?
He was a rescue, he was a rescue. What happened is he was in a commercial. I didn't know this, but they use rescue puppies in commercials. Sure. He was in the commercial. The rescue organization had, I think, 12 puppies. They left him behind in a crate, forgot him. So the costumer adopted him or took him, but she couldn't keep him because she had a baby. So our daughter found out about it, and we went and met him, and he became ours. So
this dog's been through a lot. A couple of things. First of all, the fact that he's not eating when there's a person in the room. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. He
Okay.
doesn't eat if there's movement, if he hears movement, or if
Okay.
you walk in the room while he's eating.
Here's what you need to do. You need to make a recording of normal sounds within your household. When you feed him, you need to leave a radio on so he's hearing voices at a very low volume over a period of time. Start increasing the volume a little bit at a time till he's ignoring that. It sounds to me like, I don't know how old he was when he was separated from the litter, but he was probably separated from the litter, left behind like that. Therefore, he's used to eating in a group eat with other puppies and other dogs, and therefore he's not comfortable. He'll eat, but was not comfortable. Is distracted by hearing things that he wasn't exposed to at a very young age. And I think this is a real easy problem to resolve. Number one, leaving the radio on. Number two is what I would do is I would put down a couple of dishes. Also, in terms of putting the food dishes down, I would put the food dish where you normally have it. Then I would put another food dish in another part of the house, not for life, but temporarily, so he doesn't associate that noise with where his food necessarily is.
Okay. I can do that. That's a good idea.
And then you're gonna be calling me up, saying he's getting too fat, Warren. He's eating everything. But this is not the first time I've had many dogs over the years that were just petrified to eat either in front of people or in front of other dogs or by themselves. So it's not an unusual problem, but I can kind of trigger to the fact that, he was left behind. He was in a home. She was having a baby. God knows how much attention she gave to his feeding at that point. Your daughter found him. Now he hit the lottery. He's living in La Cañada, okay? Having a great old time. And I think it's just a matter of time to reassess the situation and start building up that confidence around food a little bit at a time.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. And I was just going to tell you, and I know you know this, but somebody told me that pit bulls love toys. This dog has, I think, 20 different stuffed animals that we rotate, and he carries them in his mouth all over the house whenever he's walking around.
But that's just another sign of insecurity.
I know.
So there's a lot of you got to build up this dog's confidence. What was that guy's name? That motivational speaker? He's got to listen to Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins. Yeah. Well, let him listen to the Pet Show. That'll pick him up. Anyway, just follow my advice. Keep calling me. We'll get him through this. I promise.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I'm going to send you one of my favorite new products. It's called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's available on Amazon.com. If you have a dog, you want to check this out. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. I'll be honest with you, it's manufactured by a family member, but that's not why I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it because it really works. It's called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's a dental rinse. You just got to put some in the water once a day, and his breath will be even more kissable than it already is. So I'm going to send you some Puppy Fresh Breath, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, and at the same time, I want you to follow through and keep me posted, okay?
I will do that, and I will tell you that your vitamins, he gets 6 a day, and if I don't give them to him, he sits in front of the jar waiting.
That's one smart cookie there. Not cookie, but one smart thing. I'm going to put you on. Thank you. I'm putting you on hold. Steve's going to pick up, and we're going to send you some Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. By the way, I just started talking about it. My nephew, Michael Rosenbaum, is a big animal lover. Everyone in my family is a big animal lover. How could they not be? I brought them up. They live with me. So he came out with his Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's a great product, easy to use. Just put some in their food. Available at Amazon.com. Check out Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. I know, Alex, I got to take a break. When we come back, here's the deal. It's going to be Mimi, and then it's going to be Deb, and then it's going to be Mimi, and then it's going to be Norma. So we'll get to all your calls. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. You just heard my friend KRLA. Let's go to my friend Deb in Van Nuys. Hey, Deb. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hello. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, it's my joy. What can I do for you?
Oh, and also happy anniversary. That's impressive that you've been on the air.
45 years. Can you imagine when I first started, my hair was a whole lot darker? What can I do for you?
It doesn't matter about the outside. It's the inside that counts.
Thank you for that. What can I do for you, Deb?
Okay. I have 2 cats. I have a ragdoll and a snowshoe. The ragdoll, since I started feeding them Lucy food, the ragdoll's breath is better, but the snowshoe still has bad breath.
Well, let me go over.
She's eating poo-poo.
Yeah, well, let me go over a list with you. There's a lot of reasons why a cat would have bad breath. It could be dental disease. It's not the food you're feeding her, that I know. It could be oral infections. It could even be kidney disease, diabetes. Does the breath smell sweet at all?
No.
Okay, it could be liver disease. It could be liver disease. It could be kidney. It could be any number of things. So whenever you're dealing with bad breath like that, before you just try to correct it, it's always a good idea to get a clean bill of health from the vet, because you don't want to treat something that you're not resolving. So that, as I said, there are many, many reasons. It could be dental disease, and 85 to 90% of cats will develop some type of dental or periodontal disease by the time they're 3 to 4 years old. How old is your cat?
7.
So there you go. Do you ever do you brush your cat's teeth at all?
No, I can't. No, that's not easy. I could try the finger.
Yeah, the finger things. I'm waiting for my nephew Michael to come out with kitty fresh breath. But right now I only have doggy fresh breath, so I can't send that to you. But what you can do is really, I would definitely have it checked by the vet. Continue reading, using the Lucy pet food. I think that's really, really important as well. And in terms of,
the digestion is better.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's better. If it comes out of, listen, I've been doing this for. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I just started giving them Lucy food, so maybe I'll wait a little longer, because the ragdoll had bad breath, really worse than her.
Yeah, well,
And,
I would definitely
really
monitor it. Yeah, I would definitely monitor it. I think that's really, really important. In the meantime, I'm trying to think what I want to send you for your cats, and I don't know what I'm going to send you yet. What do I want to send for your cats? Oh, gosh, I don't know what I want to send. You know what? I am going to put you on hold. I think I am. I'm going to put you on hold. I know I got a break, Alex. And I am going to send you, I'm going to send you some more Lucy pet food for your cat. How's that? What a guy I am. Lucy pet food on its way. Quick break for the top of the hour. Mimi will get to you. Norma will get to you. 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Place. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Celebrating a little bit today. This is my, actually starting November 1st, which was yesterday, starting my 45th consecutive year on the radio. 45 years on the radio. And I think in 45 years, I might have taken 10 weekends off. So some of you have been listening to me for that long, and I appreciate that. 45 years starting this November, starting yesterday. So looking forward to another 45, and thank you. Thank you for keeping us going here on The Pet Show. I just love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Hey, listen, I'm going to get to you in a second, Mimi. I'm going to get to you in 2 seconds, Norma. Before I do that, though, do you ever wonder why your dog stares at you? I've heard trainers, I've heard veterinarians, I heard behaviors say, never stare at your dog. Well, listen to me, because I disagree. Many times, and I wrote this, it'll be up on my YouTube this week, many times dogs use eye contact to tell you something or ask you for something. If you take a moment to stare back at your dog, it can be a bonding moment for both of you. Mutual staring between dogs and their guardians releases oxytocin. This is a hormone that gives you a feeling of love and well-being. You can learn to understand your dog's stares if you pay attention to what's going on when your dogs look at your eyes. So I believe that staring at your dog is fine. Very often, though, your dog is staring at you because they need something. They got to go out. They, especially if they're crossing their back legs, they want to eat, they want a treat. So dogs do stare, and it's okay to stare back. Believe me, it's okay to stare back most of the time. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA. So got lots of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away. You heard me. I got some new stuff to give away besides hugs and kisses, besides copies of my best-selling books, either How to Get Your Dog or How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. I have Lucy Doggy Lickies. I have Hip to Be Square Treats. I got Rosie's Puppy Fresh. I got air horns. I got T-shirts, all natural herbal flea spray, and a relatively new company I'm dealing with. Amazing people. It's called, it's a recovery vest. If you have a dog that's going through and needs some recovery and had surgery, this is kind of what they need. It's a recovery vest, a great product. They also have these, which I'll be giving away as well. If you have a dog or a cat, maybe a little anxious, stressed out, these are actually Calm Paws is the name of the company, and it's a calming disc. It's all natural, and it'll make your dogs or cats feel better. So how do you find out more about this company? It's a great company. I'll be giving their stuff away. Go to their website, acornpets.com. That's acornpets.com. They got great collars if your dog's recuperating. They got wound healing for the dog's paws, little booties, all kinds of great stuff. Those discs, I'll be giving some of those away for anxiety and stress. Check out Acorn Pet Products today. All right, let me get back to the phone lines here. 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Mimi first in Austin. Hey, Mimi, welcome to the Pet Show.
Oops. Hi, Warren. How are you?
Are you calling from Texas?
Yes.
I don't hear any Texas accent there.
New York.
I
New York accent.
I should have picked up on the New York accent. Anyway, what can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Okay, so I hear a lot of callers calling about pets with arthritis.
Yeah.
Or, pain. And there's something so simple on the market that may work for them. It works for humans. And when my dog, 14 years old, was experiencing walking issues for arthritis, I took him to the regular vet who took x-rays and said, no, nothing was broken or fractured. And she said, go get some acupuncture. So I found a holistic acupuncturist that he had no openings at the time, but he said, try giving your dog arnica. Of course, not the same dosage as a human would take. My dog was about 14 pounds, and he said 30 C's. But he said, I'll call you when I have an opening. And within a week, my dog was running and himself again. He called me a month later, and I'm like, thanks, but my dog's fine now.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
Maybe your listeners would want to.
Yeah,
check
but
that out.
I cannot. First of all, I'm not familiar with what the product is or what it is that you're using. That's number one. Number two, I would never recommend something that's not specifically prescribed for a dog or a cat. The fact that it was prescribed for humans and he brought down the dosage for your dog size, and great, it worked for you. But let me go back. The first thing you said to me was acupuncture. I am a big fan of complementary veterinary medicine. A combination of complementary vet care with conventional vet care is the way to go. So acupuncture, I'm sure in Austin they have rehabilitation centers for dogs. They're popping up all over the country, where they have acupuncture, hydrotherapy, massage therapy, a cold laser therapy. There's all types of therapies for arthritis. I'm glad that it worked for you, but it'd be really difficult because I don't know if it would have the same effect on every dog. But if someone, what was the name of the product again?
It's just over the counter. It's for healing, Arnica, Arnica.
Is it a tablet? Is it a pill? Is it a liquid?
It's very, very small pill, very small.
Yeah, I would not recommend anything internally.
No, somebody should check with a holistic
their own vet, absolutely.
But I'm just saying, a regular vet probably is not versed in that because they're more into the medications.
Yeah, but they're using even the conventional. But years ago, I would agree with you 100%. But even the conventional vets now, Mimi, are more open to more holistic approaches. Even my human doctor, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I use a combination of both. And even the regular rheumatologists are more open now than they were years ago to holistic approaches. So I believe a combination of both is the way to go. But I'm glad it worked for you. How old is your dog? 14, you said?
Well, he passed
sorry.
November. He was 14 and a half rescue. He was wonderful. And I will get another dog when it's right. But,
okay.
I need to... I need to wait until that time comes.
Yeah. So why did you leave New York and wind up in Austin?
Oh, I took a long journey.
Where were you from in New York?
Philadelphia, Orange County, and Austin.
Where were you from in New York?
I lived on Long Island.
Whereabouts?
North Shore, South Shore. Yeah.
Well, no. Tell me what town.
Okay, Great Neck, and then.
Oh man, I don't like you anymore. You're a North Shore person. I don't like you anymore. You come from the wealthy part of Long Island.
I wound up in Syosset.
Oh, there you go. I know Syosset well. Anyway, I grew up in Oceanside, which is on the South Shore, the poorest side of Long Island, not the Great Neck side, the South Shore of Long Island.
I lived in Hewlett, Woodmere for 13 years.
The five town, sure, the five towns, all the big money. Anyway, listen, Mimi, I love you. Don't go. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. So when your next dog comes into your life, you'll know exactly what to do. I appreciate the phone call, but again, if it's not recommended by your own vet or a complimentary veterinarian, but I do want to stress the fact there's a lot of veterinarians out there that have a combination of both. Number one, there's a vet. I'm trying to think of a name. name? Why is her name going blank? If you could check her out, the Vegan Vet. Check out her website, and she kind of does a combination of both. And I think she just opened up a practice not too far from me. I'm going to have lunch with her in Arizona. Anyway, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. The question of the day is, how do you bond with your pets? How do you really bond with your dogs? I would love to know. Let me just say this again, then I'm going to get right back to the phones, that if you're in Los Angeles, LA Animal Services is now offering waived or reduced adoption fees for the weekends, all the weekends in November, to help the pets in their 6 centers get loving homes. And you know, ideal after this, you know, I do my international radio show for Radio American Armed Forces Radio, and this is not just LA. This is all over the country. I mean, all the shelters are full. So if you have the room and you're looking for a best friend, the way to find it is go to your local rescue, local humane society, or take that stray off the streets. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Norma in Long Beach. Hi, Norma. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking my call.
It's my pleasure. What's up?
I'm calling about my pit bull mix. She has suddenly developed a urinary incontinence. And if I leave her alone at all and there's a chair available, she will pee on the chair when I'm away.
Let me ask you a question. How old is the dog?
2.5.
And why you say it's urinary incontinence? I mean, is there a medical reason, or are you just guessing at that?
Oh, well, she suddenly began wetting her bed at night. Well, actually at all times. Wherever she'd sit, there would be a puddle. I took her to the emergency. They did tests. Then I took her to the vet afterward, and they did more tests or repeated some of the same, and everything seems fine except her pH urine is a little high.
Okay, so in other words, if the pH is a little bit high, that may be causing part of the problem. I'm sure they're trying to bring that pH down to the level it should be at. Now, when you say she's peeing in her own bed, that's really unusual. That's kind of behavior that's very, very uncommon. So I might get a second opinion on that, because if she's peeing where she's going, I'd hate to give you an approach to resolve the peeing situation if, in fact, it's caused by a medical issue. That would not be fair to your dog. There are ways to stop it. If you were to say to me, Warren, the dog's peeing on the couch, the dog's peeing on my bed, the dog's peeing over here, I would have handled this entirely differently. But the fact that the dog is actually peeing in her own bed is letting me know that there's something going on there that's more than just a behavioral issue. There's something, I mean, the vet said that the pH is up. That might be causing it. You can try regulating the water. I would run that by the vet first. Make sure you clean up all those areas where she's gone. But until you get a total clean of health, I don't think it would be fair to try to resolve this issue. I would obviously confine the dog a little bit more when you're not able to watch her, so she doesn't become depressed over being away from you. But it sounds to me like there's more going on here than meets the eye. Anytime you have a dog, unless it's a puppy or an older dog that's unaware of the fact that it's peeing in its own bed, there's usually a medical reason for it. And I'm not so sure that just telling you the pH level is a little up is the resolution to the problem. Let's get the dog with a normal urinary problem, normal urine, and then we can approach it. Behaviorally, there's a million things I can do. And within 12 days, I can stop this dog from peeing all over the house. But the first thing you got to do is get me a clean bill of health from the veterinarian.
Oh, yes, but I understand that she has some kind of condition that they haven't figured out. I understand that part, and I'm doing some of the things you suggested. But
great. But yeah, the most important thing is...
What I don't understand
yeah, go ahead.
Is peeing on my chair. She has to jump up to the chair to pee on it.
Because that...
She pees in bed as she's asleep.
Again, where they pee, where you spend a lot of time, that is a sign of insecurity or not feeling comfortable about the fact that they have to pee in the first place. So it's very common for a dog that's going through something like this to pee where their guardian is. That's the person they're closest to. And if they're not feeling themselves or they're doing something wrong, they feel a lot more confident doing it in an area where you spend a lot of time. But I'm still concerned about the fact that she's peeing in her own bed. That bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm worried. They've given me some herbal medication, but the vet says, let's see how this goes, but it may just be urinary incontinence. She's so young.
I don't understand that term. What do you mean urinary incontinence? All of a sudden, the vet's diagnosing you. Before he tells you anything else, he's saying that the dog's incontinent permanently? This is a permanent thing?
She's suspecting it could be.
Yeah, well, I think you need to get a second opinion. Listen, my background's behavior, so I'm not going to argue with your veterinarian, but if for my dog, and that's the way I answer all your questions, for my dog, I'd be getting a second opinion at this point.
Okay, that sounds good.
But before I do that, I am going to send you this. I'm falling in love with this product. It's called a calming disc. What it does is has natural herbal oils, and it's a disc you just put on the dog's regular collar or harness, and maybe exactly what you need. Just kind of mellow the dog out. She's probably feeling a little embarrassed. Also, dogs get embarrassed when their behaviors change. So I'm going to send you one of these discs from my good friends over at Acorn Pet Products, and give me a call back. Let me know when you get another diagnosis. If you get another clean bill of health, and the vet says it's absolutely a behavior problem, then I promise you I will help you resolve it.
Okay, thank you so much.
In the meantime, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. And Steve, I generally don't give these away. Just write down Acorn Pet Products Calming Disc. Great product. Check out their website as well. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Let me take a quick break, then I'll get right back to your phone. Back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. I got some open lines, 866-870 KRLA, 866-870-5752. So I got lots of great stuff to give away. I got hugs and kisses, copies of my book, T-shirts. I got those air horns. It's coyote time. If you don't have an air horn, you should have one. I got lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA. Hey, just before I get to you, Denise and Rosie, I want to talk about your dog's butt. Well, not his butt, but his tail. Get a lot of questions about that side of the dog. Do you know that a dog actually uses 54 different muscles to wag their tail? 54 different muscles to wag their tail. That's not why I want to talk to you. I had a call this week from someone who had a dog that was constantly tucking his tail in. And they didn't know why. And they went to the vet, and the vet didn't know why. Well, let me share, again, what I'm going to be posting this week on my YouTube channel. If you're not on YouTube, check it out. I'm going to be posting a lot more there. Just subscribe. It's free. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. Lots of great videos there, so check that out. But anyway, this is what I've written. Tail tucking is when a dog pulls its tail tightly against its body or between its hind legs. What causes this behavior? This behavior is commonly seen when a dog is feeling fearful, anxious, or even submissive. It can be an indication that the dog's trying to appear smaller or less threatening by tucking their tail in. It can occur in various situations, loud noises around other dogs. It's really crucial to respect the dog exhibiting this behavior and give it some space until it starts feeling a little bit more comfortable. So when you have a dog that's tucking their tail in, usually there's a reason for it. And instinctively, it's amazing what Mother Nature did. Instinctively, by tucking their tail in, they feel they appear smaller and less threatening to any other predators that might be out there. 866-870-5752. Let me go to, great calls. Let me go to Denise in Los Angeles. Hi, Denise. Welcome to the show. Hey, Denise.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. What can I do for you?
So I have a Wheaton Terrier. Her name's Kaya, and she's 7. And my son and his fiance have a little black English Cocker Spaniel whose name's Indy. And they've kind of grown up in my house together. And even though they don't live there, they come on the weekends with Indy. And so Kai and Indy have, were great friends. And in the last 9 months, they've grown to, I don't know, they just don't get along. They have so many bad fights. It's almost impossible to separate them. And we've tried, I don't know, I don't actually know what to do about it. I know that Cocker Spaniels have what's called resource guarding.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. No, anytime you hear those Archie Bunker statements, first of all, you have an Irish dog and an English dog. That's part of your problem right off the bat. Let's figure out what's going on here. They were getting along, and then they stopped getting along. Is there anything in your mind that may have changed in your home, in your environment, that may have caused this conflict to start?
Not that I could think of. The only difference is that I think probably what's happening is that Indy's coming into Kaya's home, and then she's kind of sleeping in her bed. Or
see, that's not no. How would you listen? How would you feel, Denise, if another woman moved into your house, slept in your bed, used your makeup? How would you feel? But that was chauvinistic. How would you feel?
It's okay. I'm
all right. So listen. This is very, very common. Very, very common. I've solved the war between the Irish and the English. Just listen to me. What they need to do is they need to spend more time together on neutral territory. Get them out of the house. Walk them on neutral territory where your dog doesn't have to feel challenged or threatened. It's not going to happen overnight. But remember, when they're in your home, the only thing they have to focus on is each other. If you take them for a walk together in neutral territory, there's smells of other dogs and other animals. Watch them carefully. Give them both their separate beds, their separate feeding dishes in your home, but walk them as much as you can on neutral territory. That will make a major difference in their problems at your house. Now, if the fights are really bad, is there bloodshed?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm going to do then, I want you to follow, I can't send you both, okay? I want you to follow the advice that I just gave you. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do, Denise, is I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to send you an air horn. I don't want you to overuse it, but if you really get into a situation where they're really battling with each other, a blast of the air horn can make all the difference in the world. And by the way, if dogs are fighting, do you know what to do to break them up? Trying to pull them away is not the way to go. It's kind of like the wheelbarrow approach. That's what you need to use. Lift the rear legs of the more aggressive dog and actually walk them forward towards the other dog. That's the way to break up a dog fight. But in your case, I think the air horn's going to make a big difference, and I appreciate the phone call. 866-870-KRLA. Rosie, don't go there. I'm going to get to your call. I got a couple of open lines. Great time to give me a call, by the way. 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. So no one answered that question that I had. How do you feel about paid leave if your dog or cat is ill? Years ago, I'm sure that 90% of the people would say, you're crazy, Warren. But nowadays, more and more people have dogs and cats that may not have human children. And I know it may sound crazy to some people out there, but it doesn't sound crazy to my listeners, it doesn't sound crazy to me. But your dog or cat, my dogs or cats are my kids. I love them as much as I love anything. So the bottom line is it's really important to understand that relationship and I don't know. Sometimes I just get so upset when people get a dog, then they give up the dog because they decide to bring a kid into the household. Prepare the dog for the arrival. I wrote years ago an article for Parents Magazine, as well as Baby Talk Magazine, as well as the New Yorker, specifically on what to expect from your pet when you're expecting. So for those people out there that have a dog or a cat that pre-exists the arrival of their first human baby, go to my website, read about it. It sets up a whole program specifically. I used to go to hospitals where they were having, where they prepare for you birth, or the husband and wife sit together, and I would give lectures on that. It can be done. It can be done. Babies and pets can get along wonderfully. Follow my advice. Hey, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Then we'll get back to your phone calls. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. A quick break, then right back at you. On the Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Got some open lines. Great time to give me a call. I know it can be hard to get through sometimes. Got great stuff to give away. I got Lucy pet food, Lucy treats, doggy lickies. I got some hugs and kisses, copies of my dog books, Rosie's puppy fresh breath, air horns, T-shirts, all natural herbal flea spray, calming and recovering products from acornpets.com, tear stain supplement, allergy age. I got lots of great stuff to give away. Got some open lines, pretty unusual. If you have a question or a comment or want to share a story, as I said, everyone that calls in will get a great gift for their dog or their cat, many worth as much as $50. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Even if you just want to answer the question of the day. And I'm real curious about this. How do you bond with your pets? How do you bond with your dog or cat? Do you watch TV with them? Do you have conversations with them? Do you talk to them when you're walking with them? How do you bond with your pets? Give me a call, 866-870-5752. And if you get through, a great gift will be on its way for your best friend. Again, 866-870-KRLA. Before I get to you, Rosie in Pasadena has a terrier with separation anxiety. Very common question. Before I do that, let me share this. I started talking about this earlier, and I'm putting a lot of these up on my YouTube channel. And again, if you're not following YouTube, check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let your dog win. No one wants to play a game they never win. When playing tug-of-war with your dog, let them win the game by letting go of the toy after a particularly good tug. Praise them. Make a big deal about how they won. This helps prevent frustration for your dog and a great way to build your relationship. It's also a great way to gauge whether they are having fun or not. Do they come back towards you with the toy and want to play more? That's a great sign that they love to play with you. Let's face it, no one wants to go bowling and get a gutter ball every time. Let your dog win once in a while. Let them win once in a while. Also, and again, it really bothers me. You know, I recently moved to Arizona, and a lot of people out here walking their dogs and at the dog park. A lot of great things that I see. And I talked about this earlier, in case you just tuned in. I saw a guy walking his dog just yesterday. I was out there with my guys, Molly and Willie. The guy's walking this beautiful border collie. Incredibly intelligent dog, and the dog's rearing up and barking and crazy, wants to go after my dogs. And the guy's jerking the dog on the collar, lifting the dog up, hanging the dog on the collar, and then all I hear is leave it, which I know is a trainer term. And the guy stopped and paid so much attention to the fact that the dog was being assertive or aggressive towards my dogs. He never took the time to figure out that maybe by his yelling, maybe by his screaming at the same time the dog was reacting, he was reinforcing that dog's behavior. It's like barking or telling the dog to shut up when they are barking. They just assume you're joining in on the barking. The way to resolve that, obviously some basic training, a positive way, but it's not to stop. If your dog's reacting, continue walking. The minute you stop, you're reinforcing the behavior. That's why the dog is reacting. I didn't have time, but I would love to bump into this guy again. I don't know what I have to do. And not that I'm bragging here, and not that I'm trying to sound egotistical. But my methods have worked. You know, I trained for years in Europe. You know, I trained for years in Southeast Asia. You know the background I have in terms of training. Look at life from the dog's point of view. Why is this human ego that says my dog has to do it this way? Try to work with your dogs in a way they truly understand. Have that conversation with your dog, not just leave it. It's not going to work. And I can see this guy better change or this dog's going to wind up with a lot of issues as it gets older. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let's go to Rosie in Pasadena. Hi, Rosie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. I've got a new dog. I think I called in a while back, but I wasn't able to stay on the line. Couple things. When your dog passes away, don't wait forever to get a new dog, because give a dog another chance at life. And I really felt Zoe gave me that opportunity when she went over the Rainbow Bridge to get a new little one in my life.
So Rosie's legacy was you adopting another dog.
Yes.
What a great legacy.
And I adopted Abby from Lacey Street Animal Shelter, a terrier mix, bonded to me like Velcro. And we have a little problem with separation anxiety. We've got up to like 30 minutes where I can go out and come back, and after that, she cries. And
is she doing any damage?
No, but the apartment is getting upset.
All right, let me run something by you. How much background do you know? What's the dog's name? I'm sorry.
Abby.
How much background do you know about Abby?
Thrown in Echo Park.
Okay, so she was abandoned, okay? How old is she? How old is she?
About 18 months, we think.
Okay. And we don't know if she had one home or two homes or three homes or four homes or five homes. So before we jump to separation anxiety, which a lot of people do, before we jump to separation anxiety, let's look at another possibility. Let's look at abandonment issues. Let's look at a dog that's being loved and fed consistently for the first time probably in her life. And therefore, when you leave, her assumption, because dogs learn through the associative memory. I talk about it all that time, but it's important to understand the associative memory and how that works. Probably in the past, people that she may have lived with left her, abandoned her, and never came back. So her assumption, Abby's assumption is every time you leave, Rosie, you may not come back at all either. So what we need to do is build up her confidence and start letting her know that when Rosie leaves, she's always coming back. A couple of things you can do. Number one is always when you leave some unwashed articles of your clothing around where the dog is. That's number one. Number two is even though you're home, and I know you love the dog and want to hug and kiss her 24/7, don't go into another room, close the door for 2 or 3 minutes, then come back out. Let Rosie start to understand that when you leave, you in fact are always going to come back. Build it up a little bit at a time. You can leave a radio on for her, give her some exercise before you leave. All that makes a difference. And when you leave, don't make a big deal out of it. In other words, very often people will go grab their keys or their purse or whatever, and the dog's smart enough to know that you're leaving. You say, goodbye, I love you, I'll be right back, Abby. That's all triggering Abby to the fact that you may not be coming back. So what I want you to do is when you leave, just leave. When you come back, don't make a big deal of it right away. Wait a couple of minutes, then you can schmooze her as much as you want. But the most important thing that you can do right now is build up that confidence a little bit at a time. And there's lots of ways to do that. Number one, leaving her for short periods of time. What I want you to do is, there's a couple of things I can do. I want you to go to my website, thepetshow.com. Don't forget that the. There's a great article there specifically on separation anxiety and abandonment issues. I want you to take that and read that. Or you can go to the YouTube channel and watch a video. The reason I'm not sending you a copy of the book is I want to send you something different. What I'm going to do is I am going to send you one of these calming discs. They're from a company I just really started getting to know. What an amazing company they are. It's called Acorn Pet Products. And basically what it is, it's a small little disc that goes on your dog's collar or harness with natural remedies in it, natural oils, and very often that's what you need. And remember, a dog's sense of smell is so much better than ours. That's, my specialty, teaching dogs to sniff out drugs and bombs. So their nose is important, and I think this will make a big, big difference. It has lavender in it and other things. So I'm going to send you some of these Acorn Pet Products calming disc for your dog. See if that makes a difference. But I think the most important thing in conjunction with that is making sure that Rosie understands that when you leave, you're going to come right back. And leaving for short periods of time without making a big deal out of it is going to make all the difference in the world for you. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense. I've been doing that, and as I said, I got about up to a half hour with her.
No, not a half hour. Not a half hour. No.
No, I've been doing like 5-minute increments for 9 weeks.
Okay. Well, you continue doing it. Continue doing it.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, because obviously her confidence is still not to the point where you can leave and she feels confident that you're coming back.
Yeah, because I leave a TV on. I leave my nightgown on for her to lie on.
Well, that's great. All of that stuff is great. But again, the most important thing you can do is continue when you're home, leaving for a minute, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though you can leave for a half hour now, it's too long for her. Leave it shorter periods of time. Also, again, don't make a big deal over coming home or leaving. Not now. We can schmooze as much as we want down the road a piece. My heart breaks for Abby. It really does. Any dog that has been either abandoned, or we don't know if she's abused or not, but abandoned, and you've had her for 9 weeks, and she's how old?
She's about 18 months, we figured.
All right, so this tells me, what kind of condition was she when you found her?
She tail between the legs, they called her Barky, but she never barked, really fearful.
Yeah.
And
well, again, the most important thing that you can do is build up the confidence. Listen, I can't send you both. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to get your name and address, and I'm going to send you that disc. But listen, for the nickel I make, go to my website or pick up a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. The chapters I'm most proud of in the cat and dog book are building up the dog's confidence and their self-esteem. Follow those in conjunction with what I just told you, and you'll be calling back in a couple of weeks saying, hey, she looks forward to me leaving the house. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back to your calls. We'll get to you, Jane, right after this. I'm Warren X to be a cat. We are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. I know I'm pitching my YouTube channel, but I'm going to be sharing a lot of information here. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. It's free. Check out some of the videos. I'll be putting even some more up this week. Let me get back to the phone lines right now. Let's go to my friend Jane. I know that's not your real name, Jane, but what can I do for you?
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's up?
I recently lost my 15-year-old cat to a coyote.
I'm sorry.
And I'm just trying to come to grips with it. And maybe you can help me how to get through the grief and get to the other side.
Yeah, I love cats, I love dogs, I love snakes, I love goats, and I love coyotes. Where I live right now, there are coyotes all around me. In fact, I posted a picture, I should share that with you guys again, of me waking up a coyote in the morning when I was hiking. I had to wake the coyote up and tell him to go back to sleep. What they're doing out there is natural behavior. Cats running loose out there is not natural behavior. There are way too many dangers outside now for cats. The fact that your cat was 15 years old, I probably would have recommended that at 15 years old, he be kept as an indoor cat. No matter how much you tell me that he wants to go outside, he should have been kept as an indoor cat. What you need to do right now is you need to sit down and just remember, you gave this cat 15 incredible years, 15 years of love, 15 years of tenderness, 15 years of the most incredible life any cat could ever want. So the fact that the end ended in tragedy, yeah, you're going to have to cry about that. You're going to have to be sad about that. Have a glass of wine if you have to, but speak to friends. Just remember, sit back and remember the positives. Don't remember the last time. Remember the positive times. Remember the times where he drove you crazy. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I talk about this all the time. My background is Romanian. My grandmother grew up a half a mile from Transylvania. So maybe I'm not the most spiritual person in the world, but I do understand there are certain things that we have no control over. I honestly believe that when our pets cross the rainbow bridge, they never ever leave us. They're always with us. They never leave us. And I think that's really, really important to understand that even though the cat is no longer physically, it's gone. And I understand the sadness, but, we can't blame the coyotes. We can't blame, just like where I live in Arizona right now, there's a rural area where lots of coyotes live in there. They're knocking it down. Where are the coyotes supposed to go? And that's why I'm a firm believer. Cats should be kept indoors. I'll give you an example. And you'll get through this, Jane. Listen, you gave this cat an incredible life. I have 2 dogs, okay? Molly and Willie. Together, Molly and Willie may weigh 14 pounds. My backyard has an 8-foot fence around the entire yard, okay? When Molly and Willie are out in that yard, I am there with them. They're never out there for a second without me. That's how crazy I can be. Number 2, when I take Molly and Willie for a walk, in my belt, I have pepper spray, I have an air horn, I have a stick that I carry as well. So they're pretty well protected. So the bottom line is there's nothing you could have done. The cat was out. Coyote did what the coyote did. It's over. It's done with. Don't think about that. Think about the positive times. Think about the times of you and the cat watching Seinfeld together, or you reading a book with the cat on your lap. Remember the incredible life you gave to this cat. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on all the positives. And for some people, and I understand it, there's actually actually if you go to Facebook.com, there's a lot of support groups for loss of pets. So I would go to a Facebook group, Grief and Support for Loss of a Beloved Pet, and check it out. There's a lot of groups out there. I used to do bereavement counseling. I don't have the opportunity to do that anymore, but if you need that type of help, there are people out there that do that. But check out the Facebook groups, but focus on the positives. Remember the positives. Try not to remember the negatives. Does that help you out at all there, Jane?
Yes, it did. Thank you, Warren.
No, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And you know what? In the future, when you're ready, and if you're ready at some point, fine. If not, if you adopt another cat or rescue another cat as a legacy to the cat that's no longer with you, keep this cat now inside. It'll make all the difference. Well, what I'm going to do, because in my cat book, the last page of the cat book is, okay, the cat crossed the Rainbow Bridge. When's the next one coming in? I'm going to do this, Jane. I'm going to put you on hold. And Steven's going to pick up, and we're going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. This way, when you do decide it's time for you to fill your house with a new pet you never replace, but when you fill your house with a new buddy, you'll know exactly what to do to make sure that cat is happy and healthy in the house rather than outside, unless you want to take the time to teach the cat to walk on a leash and harness. And that's even dangerous in a high coyote area. But I got to be honest with you guys. Can't blame the coyotes. You can't blame the coyotes. I heard something the other day that I never want to hear again, and it was a coyote scenario, but you can't blame the coyotes. They're doing what coyotes do. We're living amongst them, and we have to learn to live together. Take a quick break here. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, we're going to go to John. He said the dog was trained as a bomb sniffer. Good, John. That was my specialty. We'll talk to you when we come back. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. Just a reminder that I do my national show right after this. It starts at 1 o'clock. Same type of show, same gifts. Write this number down. You can start calling at 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. Let me see if I can help out John here quickly. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hey, John, how you doing?
Fine, sir. Thanks for taking my call. I find myself in a situation where I just don't know how to handle a dog that's a 125-pound dog. He was with the consulate's State Department as a bomb sniffer. I worked through the military with consulates and special operations, and when it came his time to retire, I saw him. I thought he was beautiful, and I took him in as.
Hey, John, let me do this. I don't want to run out of time. It's a great call. What I want you to do is, starting in about 4 minutes, call the number I'm going to give you right now. I'll take your call on my national show, which, by the way, goes to Armed Forces Radio as well. I'll take your call there. It'll give me a lot more time to answer. Does that sound okay to you?
Hold on one second. Let me grab a paper.
All right. And that goes for anyone else out there. That number is 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. So, John, I'm gathering that your dog was a trained bomb sniffing dog, and I see from my screen that he's aggressive right now. Boy, do I have a cure for you. I had the same scenario when I was at Ground Zero with the search and rescue dogs. They became frustrated because they weren't doing the job they were trained to do. Anyway, don't go anywhere. Write the number down, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. John, give me a call there. I will take your phone call there. Until next week, we run out of time. I give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one between the ears for me. Check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you again for listening to Pet